And the last backbench contribution, Richard Holden.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr Deputy Speaker. And like many members on this side of the House, and I'm sure on all sides, the last thing I want to do is be here again insisting on further lockdowns and further measures to restrict the freedom of my constituents. It's certainly not what I came into politics for. And we have had some good news today. The vaccine coming forwards looks like it'll finally put us in the final furlong for furloughed Britain, which I think is a really good place to be. But we're not there yet. And so these measures I'm going to reluctantly support today. I know the Health Minister has been getting in the neck from all sides of the House, and I think it's right that we as backbenchers do challenge the government on the measures that they're taking. But after having spoken to my local NHS Hospital Trust Chief Executive today, they're seeing a massive surge, and Durham's going back into Tier 4. They've seen a real spike in cases and a real spike in hospitalisations just over the last couple of weeks, after we've been seeing a real reduction in cases in Tier 3 over a very prolonged period of time. But it's quite clear that there is a real issue. So everything that can be done to get this vaccine out, we really need to get it there as quickly as possible. Like other honourable members, I'd like to support 1518, the move from the government on self-isolation from 14 to 10 days. Anything which can be done to improve freedoms of our constituents, we must do at the earliest opportunity. And I know that support has been huge from the government, but this is taxpayers' money, but it's been absolutely massive. For furlough, for self-employed income support, for the grants out to businesses. But I'd like to speak, a bit like my honourable friend for Bracknell, about gyms. I've had a huge number of people in my constituency, again getting in touch with me today, really concerned about the impact that this is going to have on people. I've had gym owners themselves getting in touch because January and February are the time of year where they actually finally make some money, and that's where they get their things in. So any extra support from the government for them would be particularly welcome. And anything in terms of instructing via MHCLG on discretionary grant schemes from councils for gyms would be particularly helpful. And if I could make a sort of targeted suggestion for the Treasury bench to pass on to the Treasury, perhaps when we do get through this, they could push out a scheme for work out to help out or something similar for this sector. High streets more generally, from beauticians to bookshops, have been particularly hammered. They haven't suffered like some of the massive international companies, and it's those guys on the front lines running small businesses, the heart and souls of our communities, who've been really affected. So again, anything more to push support, either discretionary or across the board, would be particularly helpful. And I can't not mention the hospitality sector. I was particularly struck by the honourable member for Hackney South and Shoreditch. Whether it's on Shoreditch High Street or whether it's on South Street in Crook in my constituency, or Sherborne Terrace in Concert, or in Stanhope Town Centre, hospitality sectors across the country have been absolutely mullered by this disease. So anything that can be done to help them now would be particularly helpful. And I'd also urge the front bench to look at particularly on-sale beer duty cuts come the budget. And also, if there's anything in terms of a further targeted scheme around Eat Out to help out, when they are able to reopen, to help them restart again, just to give them that confidence to get going again, that would also be particularly welcome. As honourable members across the House have said, keeping the schools open is important, but I think it's also right that we treat teachers as essential workers, and if we can get vaccines out to them, that would be really helpful. So many of my school leaders have been getting in touch with me. I really thank the government for the extra cash for schools and, if necessary, the military support. But we've got to get some more support to them to help, because they are really doing everything they can on the vaccine levels. Just on the NHS, before I wind up, I had a fantastic visits to both Shotley Bridge Community Hospital and to Weardale Community Hospital in my constituency in the run-up to Christmas, seeing some of the staff there on the night shift. But it's quite clear that staff are really knackered. So if there's anything that can be done to really support, particularly in terms of mental health, for our NHS staff, that would be particularly helpful. And finally, on the vaccine, and as in reference to my honourable friend from South Cambridge,
Richard, run out of time.